Good afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good
Am I
afternoon.
audible?
Yes. Sir, this is kind of a mock interview, or can I ask my doubts as well?
Hello, Renu. Hello, doctor. This is kind of a one-to-one interaction. Sir will be
Okay.
here in some time. So it's
Okay.
not a mock interview. Don't worry on that. It will be a
Okay.
personal one-to-one session,
Okay.
right?
So is he does he have my DAF, or does he have any like background knowledge?
So he will be
Or should
interacting
I?
directly.
Okay. Fine. Can I record the session from my end too?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay. Thanks.
Anyhow, the video will be released on YouTube as well, so you can see it there also.
Okay. I guess it needs your permission to record.
Yes, I'll do that. Actually, we are recording it from our side, so simultaneous recording won't be possible. So
Okay. No
you don't
issues.
worry. I'll send you the video link. You can see it there.
Sure. Sure.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
I was actually eavesdropping into your conversation which you're having. So let me at the outset lay out what we'll do today.
Okay.
The idea of this is to have one-on-one interaction with you, with others listening. But I'll talk specifically to each one of you to understand if there are any apprehensions in your mind, if there are any questions in your mind, if you have anything to ask under the sun. That will be the one part. The second would be, after I've interacted with you individually, I'll make a very brief general presentation, which would be useful to all of you in terms of preparing yourself for the personality test, and then we'll have a wind-up part. I hope that is fine with me. So since the initial eavesdropping was done in conversation with regard to Renu Manocha, I think you get cracking.
So,
What you
so
each
this
one
is
of you,
Nipa.
sorry, your
Nipa.
name is Achha, okay.
Yes,
So,
sir. I just renamed it.
so what I would expect each one of you when I call out your name, whatever comes here on the port, on the screen here, I'll call out that name. If you have a different name, introduce
Yeah,
me
I
with
have
the
updated.
correct name and tell me briefly about yourself. There is a conscious effort why I want you to speak for a while, just to understand from you your levels of articulation, the way you go about telling about yourself. Now, the board is not going to ask you about how do you, what are you, but I would like to assess. For me to guide you as to what you should do, I have to understand you fairly clearly, and that is why we have this one-on-one session. So we go ahead with Deepa then. Deepa, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell me about yourself, your hobbies, and what you've written in DAF, irrespective of whether I know about DAF or not. Okay, go ahead.
Sir, I was born and brought up in Delhi. My optional subject is commerce and accountancy. I completed my graduation from Shriram College of Commerce. Thereafter, I completed my post-graduation from Delhi School of Economics. I have a 15 months experience of working as a CS intern. I also completed my company secretaryship course, in which I obtained an All India rank in all three levels. Thereafter, I have worked as a content writer in a UPSC platform. My hobbies include gymming, yoga, and food photography.
So first is my response to what you told me just now. And I would suggest that others should listen to what I'm saying
Yes,
with
sir.
reference to very carefully because it might apply to them also.
Okay, sir.
First of all, in the board, you will not tell anything about yourself which you think is good about you.
Okay.
You will only tell what you are. Don't pass any value judgment. Don't say that I've achieved this or I've achieved all India rank or something. You are in trouble if you do that. Because it is assumed that whoever is coming here has some qualification. So by saying that, you are only putting yourself in trouble. हमारे यूपी में कहते हैं बंदर के हाथ में अस्त्र दीजिएगा वो हजामत बनाएगा. So this is like handing over this. So be very humble about what you've done. That is one. And I'll keep mentioning these generic points as I go along before I come to a generic presentation at the end of it. Why I say that? Because I appeared twice actually. In 1979, when the Kothari Commission report came, I appeared for the first time and I qualified for the police service. And second year, I qualified for the IS. And the difference was the interview. I got 55% in the first year and the highest in the second year in the country. And this was the difference because I realized where I was making mistakes. And I will share with you my personal experience in this regard for you to embellish what you are. And as I get you, Deepa, I think you are fairly articulate in what you say. So that's not an issue because with some that's a problem. But sometimes your fluency becomes a problem with you because you end up saying everything you want to say.
That's true, sir.
That is one. The second is you have worked somewhere. You say you worked. So I couldn't catch the organization where you worked. Know well about that particular organization where you worked. You have to know whether you enjoyed it or not. What were the problems that you faced in that organization? That's also very important because you should be able to analyze as to what was wrong with that organization. But while doing all that, you have to keep in mind the positive approach that you have to adopt. So you're looking at the negative part of that organization with a view to looking at it positively. So for example, I'm taking a very absurd example just to illustrate the point. Suppose in that organization, and it may not be true of the organization where you work, where everyone came late to the office. And you find this very unusual that you reach the office on time and others don't come. Now that's a negative feature of an organization, but you can build it into a positive feature by saying that I, in my short tenure there, try to understand why is this happening. Now, what is the person doing here is not merely looking at a problem, but attempting to find a solution to the problem. This is an indication of your overall approach to issues in the country. You're not supposed to solve all the problems of the country, and you're not supposed to know everything about the country. So you have to look at it positively. So please work on the organization where you worked in. You must know the details. Since you have a very interesting background of commerce and you've studied at SRCC, I think the commerce related issues you should be aware. Now understand the difference between what I'm saying and what you studied in your subject. Likelihood is that they're not going to ask you about your subject. They normally don't ask. But everything associated with your subject will be asked. And commerce is always the in thing, So all the current related issues. So for example, I was just reading today, I'm again taking a very random example, that India continued to export oxygen when there was a demand in the country. Do you agree with this? Whether exports have taken. Now, how do you respond to this question? There'll be many negative things thrown at you, and they do it deliberately to see how positive you are. Because in my generic presentation, I'll explain this part as well, that they want to look at your attitude. They don't want to look at your knowledge. Your knowledge is already tested. So what is your attitude? So first, as I will explain in subsequently also, that don't contest a fact until you know that is wrong. And even if you know that is wrong, then also you have to be very polite in saying, sir, in my understanding, perhaps this is the right thing. Don't try and correct anybody. No, sir, it is this. So the same thing you're saying in two different ways, you could run into a problem. Now, you have done content writing. That's a very interesting
sir.
area. Better prepare for content writing.
Okay, sir.
What are the factors or aspects that you take care while writing those contents, and where all have you written?
Yes, sir.
Next is, since you've studied in Delhi and you've been in Delhi when all the crises happened, whether it was CA crisis, whether it was this Jamia Millia crisis or JNU crisis, be careful about what you say. It's very important. You don't have to be negative about things, but you can say point. What I will try and do is, I will take the telephone numbers of all of you, and I'll send across a couple of articles that I've written on a few current aspects which could be of use to you, just for you to look at it. And generally speaking, since I was mentioning about the positive part of it, if you can do a few case studies, if you find time, if you read Ethical Dilemmas of a Civil Servant, there are about 70 case studies where a negative situation, how is interpreted by an officer, you can get to. Because again, as I keep saying, they're not looking for solutions from you. They're looking, how do you approach? Then you have this interesting hobby of gymming.
Yes, sir.
Is gymming the right word?
Sir, as in I asked some of my seniors, so they suggested I wanted to write cardio, but then they suggested that write gymming because then it includes cardio and resistance.
No, very
training
fair.
as well.
I'm only trying to understand, was my limited knowledge of the language. Is gymming a word?
I have written
Or it
this
is a slang?
actually. No.
Look, because they
Okay.
might ask you.
Yeah.
I mean, don't know. I mean, you can say if you don't know it, sir, I thought it was right. But be careful about writing or speaking these slang words.
Okay.
Because to my understanding, and I hope I'm totally wrong, there's no such thing as gymming. You go to gymnasium.
Yes.
Gymming has been born out of gymnasium, but
Yes.
I'm not very sure. So what you speak, and with your proficiency and proficiency in the language of English and the way you are speaking it, you can actually do very well. Because you don't have to do fundamentals of improving your articulation, which you already have. So these are some of the initial things that I can think of. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask us. Any apprehension questions?
Sir, I have given mocks at 2 interviews. So the feedback that I have received is that I jump onto the questions and I should probably think and then answer, and then a little more mature and responsible answers would come into picture. But then I do not know how to actually solve this because I'm like very eager.
You can solve. You can solve. When is your interview?
Sir, it was scheduled on 31st May.
So you still have sufficient time where actually you can change your habit. You can actually change your habit.
Okay.
And I will just remind me when I'm making a generic presentation, there I'll tell all of you how to evolve differently for you to get marks. You know why I lay a lot of emphasis on interview, because 5-10 marks here and there and you are in and out. That's the difference. So if you can brush on those, see, the advantage with you is that you have strength on articulation part. The disadvantage, which I also discerned and may have told you later on, is that you have to be a patient listener. If you're not a patient listener, it's not treated as a right attribute of an officer. You have to be patient. So the principle is very simple. Listen till the time the person has completed his statement, his comment. And second, if someone interrupts you, stop immediately. And what you can do is, and others I have not spoken to, so I don't know, for you, you can do is do it in front of a mirror. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Record something on a telephone and let that telephone question be complete and speak. Practice this daily and day in and day out.
Okay.
So record a number of questions on the mobile, and those questions may be recorded not by you, but the group that I'm going to talk about later on. Let each one record that for you. Listen to them, hold your hand, hold yourself, and do it. You can do it. It's not, there are much more difficult things that can be done. This is not very difficult. It's a question of, sometimes what happens is, and this is, others may also note it, that in excitement to answer, because you know the answer, you jump the gun. It's very natural in human beings. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very natural. But through practice, we say about 21 days would be good enough. You have longer time. It's a clear-cut 21-day rule. Do it, but do it regularly. Whatever I'm going to tell you, do it regularly,
Yes,
and if possible, at a fixed time. If you do that regularly, I can guarantee you'll be able to overcome that. What else? Any other question, clarification that you
sir. And the thing is that people say that my answers are quite long and I should come to the point. So I have been working on that. But the thing is that I constantly think as I speak. So that is also related to the similar issue that I'm speaking first and then after that in the process I'm thinking. So this is also one of the issues that I'm facing. That
this should just hold on, Hello. Yes. I'll just take a minute. Just hold on. I have some urgent work to do. Sorry. So, Deepa, if you can practice this through group activities that I'm going to suggest at the end of the program today, you should be able to overcome that. You have sufficient time, so you can overcome that. Anything else that you would like to say, Deepa? Deepa, are you there? Okay, I think, can others hear me? Just raise your hand if you can.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we then go to Dr. K, because I can't get Neeta back, Deepa back.
Okay.
Yes, Dr. K, please tell me about yourself.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Karpura Sundara Pandian. I am from Kadalur district, Tamil Nadu. I completed my MBBS from Coimbatore Medical College in 2014. I started my preparation in 2015. I had my private consultation also for some time. My father was working in geology and mining department. My mother is a housewife. And my hobbies are exploring heritage sites, and I'm also interested in reading Tamil fiction.
Pandian, where do you come from? Which is the place from where you come from? Coimbatore?
Kadalur district, sir.
Kadalur. You did your MBA from
MBBS from Coimbatore.
So you will have some very interesting questions. Actually, you should be prepared for that. Is this the first time that you are appearing in the civil service, or you have appeared before?
So this is my fifth attempt and my first interview, sir.
Fifth attempt.
Yes.
So the first question would be, you passed out, you did your doctor's, your medicine in 2014.
Yes, sir.
And you have been wasting your time, 7 years?
Sir, I would not say I was wasting my time, but I was investing my time for a career in civil services, sir, which was my passion as well.
That may not actually help you. This answer, you'll have to think of some other answer. You said you were practicing, no?
Yes, sir. I was practicing.
Why don't you stick to that job? That, sir, suppose I ask you this question that you wasted your time. you can answer it in a manner, sir. Frankly speaking, sir, I was doing my practice, but since I wanted to get into civil service, I was parallelly preparing for the civil service. So that makes a lot of sense. Giving up your practice and doing nothing and preparing for civil service appears a bit awkward. It will be very difficult to sell this idea to them. So think over it. Think of what you can give as a very credible suggestion.
Okay, sir.
Second, of course, these days the country requires more doctors than civil servants.
Yes, sir.
You say yes.
Sir?
Then why do you want to become a civil servant? You are a doctor.
We do have doctors, sir, but we need specialists in the arena of civil services also. We need different people as experts also. So doctors, when
you are getting into trouble. You are getting into trouble because you have said so many things on which many questions can be asked.
Okay.
Now you have already determined that the civil service requires a specialist without having been a civil servant yourself. Now, please listen everyone carefully. I would say that at the end in my general presentation also, you are not supposed to use words like should, because how are you expected to come to conclusions over issues over which there is a huge debate going on?
Okay, sir.
So you should be very careful about the words that you use.
Okay.
So even if you want to say that, you will say that, sir, in my limited understanding of the civil service,
okay,
I would believe that there could be a requirement of certain specialists also.
Okay.
So here you've kept the gate open, because how can you say, sir, there is a requirement of specialists also in the civil service?
Okay.
You are in trouble.
Okay.
And each one of you has to be very careful about prescribing things, because you're not in a position to prescribe things. Right now, it is more of a perception based on your personal experience.
Yes, sir.
And you can't actually come to conclusion about issues.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So you have to be careful about how you articulate your answer.
Okay.
Because if you don't do that, they will catch you on that and then take you to a different direction altogether. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Then the heritage part, you'll have to understand clearly at what you are talking when. What heritage are you talking?
So I'm more interested to
go ahead.
Regarding the architectural heritage sites, which are man-made heritage sites, where I could appreciate the nuances, the creativity of human throughout ages, like for the past 2000 years, various stages of our civilization, which exhibits the values and rich cultural values which is present in our nation.
Would you be able to describe some of the sites that you would have seen? If prepare some of these details of some of the sites, they might ask you which all heritage sites you visited and what is the understanding that you got as a consequence of those visits.
Yes, sir.
What is the value that these cultural heritage sites bring to a society, to a country? So all that, these answers you'll have to be prepared.
Yes.
Then since you studied in Coimbatore,
okay,
you must be conversant also with the problems relating to the city of Coimbatore.
Okay, sir.
The importance of city of Coimbatore.
Okay.
The problems related to how Coimbatore is evolving as an industrial hub in Tamil Nadu.
Yes, sir.
If it is, then how, why? So you should be conversant with all that.
Okay.
Then as a man from medicine, they might ask you, why didn't you think in terms of going in for specialization? You just did MBBS. You could have gone in for MD, MS, some other specialization or masters. Why didn't you do that? You will have to have an answer for that. Why didn't you do that? So you can obviously say that, sir, I was practicing medicine. I did not go for a specialization because I was looking for my job as a civil servant.
Civil servant. Okay.
Preparing for that. And that left me little time to go in for any specialization. But the first question that I asked and you responded, you have to think very seriously about answer to that question.
Yes, sir. Okay. Sure.
Any observation, question, apprehension that you have, would you like to know from me?
Sir, also my optional, which I selected for civil service is Tamil literature. I had interest in Tamil literature. So I wanted to take Tamil literature so I can learn more.
No, normally they would not ask questions on your optional. But in
Okay.
your case, they would,
Okay.
because there's an unusual optional. So my hunch is that they might ask you about Tamil literature.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, so since your English is fairly fluent,
Okay.
and you've taken Tamil literature as a subject,
Yes, sir.
they might ask you, how is Tamil literature, for example, different from literatures of that region?
Okay, sir.
How is Tamil as a language different from languages of that region? Because the limited understanding that I have of the languages,
Yes.
there are similarities between Kannada, Telugu, and Malayalam.
Telugu, Malayalam.
There are some similarities,
Yes, sir.
but Tamil is totally different.
Yes, sir. So
So,
actually,
no, don't answer me.
okay, okay.
What you
sir.
have to do is you should have an answer to this. I'm not interviewing anybody.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
only trying to suggest a few questions to you,
Okay, sir.
for which you should be prepared. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
Then since you come from that area, you must be conversant with issues like Kaveri dispute. You should be totally conversant with the interstate problems around that area.
Okay,
With
sir.
Karnataka, with Andhra. So your awareness levels they're going to check.
Okay, sir.
And for that, any associated with that particular region or any recent event of that region, you have to be fairly familiar with. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any other question that you have in mind, apprehension or?
I qualified for NEET PG also, but I did not join because I couldn't get the PG which I wanted, community medicine. And I also cleared the state medical recruitment board exams also, but the recruitment was a bit delayed due to COVID and everything. So should I mention these things like when you ask?
If you have not written in DAF,
Okay.
then you don't have to mention it yourself unless you are asked. And please, others also listen to this very carefully. You have to be precise in answering. You don't have to embellish your answers with other things until it's asked. So, for example, if they don't ask you, have you appeared, and it's not there in your DAF, don't on your own say that.
Okay.
They might ask you, did you appear in any of these state exams? Yes, sir, I appeared in this state exam. Then you can tell what you have to tell. You have to attempt to be as precise as possible. Because if you give them, you can do that consciously, also give them some information for them to pick up the next question. I did that in second year. In fact, at the end of the show on the second year, it appeared that I was directing the interview because I was leaving some unanswered question at the end of my response. And sure enough, the next person picked up that question.
Okay.
So, but you have to be very, very confident and you should know yourself to do that. I would suggest don't do that. I did that in the second year because I had the comfort of already being in a good service. I said, hoga, nahi hoga. So I could do that, but don't do that.
Okay.
You be very precise to the point of what is asked. Don't give them material beyond what is asked. Okay. Anything else?
Nothing else.
Okay. So we go next to Kunal.
नमस्ते
नमस्ते. आपका मीडियम हिंदी है, अंग्रेजी है?
हिंदी मीडियम है सर.
ओके, तो आप कुणाल जितनी भी चर्चा करें, जिससे बातचीत करें, और जो आगे भी मैं बताऊंगा पूरा हिंदी में करें. पूरी चर्चा हिंदी में, सोए खाएं पिए जागे बोले सब कुछ हिंदी में. ठीक है, किसी और भाषा में नहीं. ठीक है, बताइए अपने बारे में बताइए.
सर मेरा नाम विरुलकर कुणाल रमेश राव है. मैं महाराष्ट्र के अमरावती जिले से आता हूँ. 12वीं तक की मेरी कक्षा अमरावती में हुई है. उसके बाद स्नातक मैंने कंप्यूटर इंजीनियरिंग से किया है, जो पुणे इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ कंप्यूटर टेक्नोलॉजी कॉलेज का नाम था, और ये यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ पुणे के अंतर्गत आता है. 2011 में मेरा स्नातक समाप्त हुआ. उसके बाद से मैंने सिविल सेवा का प्रयास करना शुरू किया. इसके साथ ही मैंने बाकी एग्जाम्स की भी तैयारी शुरू कर दी, जैसे बैंक, स्टाफ सिलेक्शन कमीशन. 2013 के कर्मचारी चयन आयोग में मेरा कर सहायक के रूप में सिलेक्शन हुआ और उसका ज्वाइनिंग मुझे 2016 में आया. 2016 से अभी तक मैं इनकम टैक्स विभाग में एज अ वरिष्ठ कर सहायक के रूप में काम करता हूँ, और मेरा अभी काम चेन्नई स्थित है, और मेरी हॉबी कुकिंग और पतंग उड़ाना है.
एक तो प्रश्न आपसे जो पूछा जाएगा वो ये पूछा जाएगा, आप 2011 से लगे हुए हैं, 10 साल आप प्रयासरत हैं. इससे पहले आप कभी क्वालिफाई किए थे पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट में, या पहली बार क्वालिफाई किया?
सर मैं तीसरी बार पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट के लिए अभी अपीयर हुआ.
2 बार आप नहीं क्वालिफाई कर पाए आगे, आप सिविल सर्विस. ओके, आपका सब्जेक्ट क्या था ऑप्शनल?
सर मेरा सब्जेक्ट सोशियोलॉजी है.
आपने ये कभी प्रयास किया जानने के लिए कि पिछले 2 बार जब आप इंटरव्यू के लिए अपीयर हुए थे पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट के लिए, तो किन वजह से कितने कितने नंबर थे आपके दोनों पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट?
सर मैंने 2015 में सबसे पहली बार मेरा पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट दिया था। उसमें मेरा पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट का लैंग्वेज इंग्लिश था।
कितना?
उसमें इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज था मेरा, और उसमें मुझे 127 नंबर आए थे।
127।
फिर 2018 में मैंने फिर प्रयास किया। 2018 में मेरी पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट की लैंग्वेज हिंदी थी, उसमें मुझे 165 नंबर आए।
ये आपने बहुत अच्छा निर्णय लिया है कि आप हिंदी में करें। आपसे ये प्रश्न जरूर किया जाएगा, आपने सोशियोलॉजी अंग्रेजी में लिखी थी, हिंदी में लिखी थी?
सर मैंने मेंस पूरा अंग्रेजी में लिखा है।
तो आपसे पूछा जा सकता है कि जब आपने रिटन एग्जाम जो है वो अंग्रेजी में लिखा है और आप हिंदी में इंटरव्यू दे रहे हैं, ऐसा क्यों है? तो इसका उत्तर आप सोच लीजिएगा। क्या आप क्या बताएंगे इसका उत्तर?
सर मेरा उत्तर ये रहेगा कि क्योंकि सर मैं इंग्लिश भी अच्छे तरीके से बोल सकता हूँ और हिंदी भी बोल सकता हूँ, लेकिन मैं हिंदी में अच्छे से व्यक्त कर सकता हूँ, इसलिए मेरे हिंदी भाषा चुनने का फाइनल हिंदी भाषा चुनना।
देखिए, एक बहुत बड़ी क्वालिटी होती है किसी व्यक्ति में कि वो अपनी कमी को मान ले, ठीक है ना? और आपको इस बात को मान लेने में कोई संकोच नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप अंग्रेजी लिख तो सकते हैं ठीक से, लेकिन बोलने में आपको समस्या आती है, और उसको दृष्टिगत रखते हुए आपने एक निर्णय लिया। तो आप ये ना कहिए मैं अंग्रेजी भी अच्छी बोल लेता हूँ, हिंदी भी अच्छी बोल लेता हूँ। जब आपने कह दिया आप अंग्रेजी भी अच्छा बोल लेते हैं और आपने अंग्रेजी में लिख भी लिया है, तो अंग्रेजी में इंटरव्यू क्यों नहीं दे रहा है? बड़ा सीधा सा कारण है कि आप अंग्रेजी में लिख तो सकते हैं, लेकिन बोलने में चूंकि आपका सामान्य आपकी बातचीत जो है वो हिंदी में होती है, इसलिए वो हिंदी में वो कर रहे हैं। और बड़ा सीधा साधा, कोई गड़बड़ नहीं है, बड़ा व्यवहारिक भी है किसी व्यक्ति के लिए। जरूरी नहीं है आदमी जो आदमी अंग्रेजी अच्छी लिखे वो अंग्रेजी बोले भी अच्छा, और ये संभव है कि आदमी अंग्रेजी अच्छी लिखे और हिंदी बोले ज्यादा अच्छा। तो आप ये बात कह सकते हैं, इसमें कोई संकोच की बात नहीं है। ये ना कहिए कि मुझे अंग्रेजी भी अच्छी आती है, हिंदी में अच्छी आती है, लेकिन शायद मुझे हिंदी ज्यादा अच्छी आती है इसलिए मैं हिंदी में बोल रहा हूँ। ये कुछ बात बनती नहीं है। आप मान लीजिए इस बात को कि आप अंग्रेजी ठीक से उतने नहीं बोल सकते, आप अपनी भावों की अभिव्यक्ति जो है वो हिंदी में ज्यादा अच्छा कर पाते हैं, इसलिए हिंदी में कर रहे हैं। बड़ा बड़ा बढ़िया सा उत्तर हो जाएगा। दूसरा ये है कि आपने, आपसे एक और इसका जवाब बन जाएगा, जैसे कंप्यूटर आपने साइंस पढ़ी है तो वो तो अंग्रेजी में पढ़ी होगी।
जी सर।
तो जब आपने बात को कह दिया कि आप अंग्रेजी समझ लेते हैं और लिख लेते हैं, तो इसके आगे फिर प्रश्न सिर्फ ये आएगा कि आज की तारीख में ये सामान्य रूप से लोग कह रहे हैं कि विज्ञान के सब्जेक्ट्स को भी हिंदी में पढ़ाया जाए या अन्य भाषाओं में पढ़ाया जाए। आपकी क्या राय है इसके बारे में? आपसे पूछ सकते हैं कि पढ़ाया जा सकता है, कंप्यूटर साइंस को स्थानीय भाषाओं में पढ़ाया जा सकता है, पढ़ाया जाना चाहिए? आपकी क्या राय है? ये जो मैं शब्द बार बार, एंड दिस इज एप्लीकेबल टू ईच वन ऑफ यू, I am time and again asking your opinion, as the board would ask you your opinion on a number of issues. Now don't get hassled about it. You may or may not have an opinion. You know, if you don't have an opinion when facts are available, then it is wrong. But if you are not conversant with the facts on the basis of which you have to opine, then it is not necessary for you to give that opinion. You can say, I can give you the example, my own example. During the second year when interview was going on, one of the board members was merrily reading a novel. You can't blame them because they have to sit from morning till evening doing nothing, asking questions. So this guy was reading a novel. So suddenly he asked me, he read out a sentence and asked me, Mr. Sarup, what do you make out of this? So I said, I mean, you know, suddenly you don't know, you are talking something else and this sentence comes from nowhere. So I asked him, sir, I also to buy time, I asked him, sir, I don't know the context of the statement. So unless I know the context, it may not be appropriate of me to comment on that. See, I have to state, and by stating that, I'm also buying time, thinking about what he said. So he showed me the cover of the book. It was India's China War. So I told him, sir, I have not read the book. Now, I don't stand to lose a single mark by admitting that I have not read that book. You know, sometimes you get nervous. Hey, I have not read this book. Now, how will I respond? No, they're not seeking a response based on what he knows. Now, I admitted that. Then what he did was he spoke for about half a minute explaining the whole context. And I did not agree with him because he was saying, and that book actually says, which I read subsequently, that India invaded China in 1962. It was not the other way around. For that, though I had not read the book, I had reasons to believe that India could not have done that. So I explained that to him. No, but this book says. So I politely told him, sir, there could be another point of view in the book, and I'll try and read it as early as possible. And sir, if possible, I'll get in touch with you and have a longer discussion on this. So everyone else started laughing. Now, I'm not saying you say that. What I'm suggesting here is that you should be able to admit if you don't know. Don't unnecessarily say yes when you don't know. तो आपको अगर किसी बात का ज्ञान नहीं है और वो ज्ञान किन्हीं तथ्यों पर आधारित है और आप वो अपना मत इसलिए नहीं अभिव्यक्त कर पा रहे हैं क्योंकि आप उन तथ्यों की जानकारी नहीं है। कई बार ऐसा होता है कि जैसे उसने भ्रष्टाचार के बारे में पूछ लिया और आपका मत पूछा कि भ्रष्टाचार को कैसे हटाया जा सकता है। अब इसमें आप नहीं कह सकते मेरा कोई ओपिनियन नहीं है। Arvit,
So I don't understand Hindi this fluent. I understand very, very little of Hindi.
Since I'm interacting with Kunal, don't worry.
Okay, sir. Okay.
What I'll do is when I make a general presentation, I'll do that in English.
Okay.
Because Kunal understands English, so he'll be able to understand. I am deliberately talking to him in Hindi because he has to give us an interview in Hindi, and he has to get conversant. And to you and to Deepa, you all have to eat, sleep, drink, everything in English.
Yes, sir.
You know, we all come from our own place and we have a mother tongue. You know, normally what happens is, it happened with me, I don't know if it happens with you, we translate that from our mother tongue to a language that I want to speak.
Yes.
So it impacts your fluency. Deepa was mentioning this, that she thinks and there is a disconnect between her thought and speaking. This is what you got to develop, not only for appearing in the civil service. God willing, all of you will make it to the civil service. In the civil service, you will run into serious problems. So improving your communication skills so that your words flow seamlessly, thoughts get converted into words. Now, when you are writing an exam, you have done that because you've seamlessly, your thoughts flow through your pen.
Yes.
You thought something and you didn't have to translate it. But while speaking, since you're not into the habit of speaking, you get into that roadblock. And I totally could relate to what you were saying. It requires a bit of a practice for you to become totally fluent and in control of yourself. Though you may have good control over language, but that translation takes time. And I'll tell you how to go about doing it after I'm through with all of you. So Kunal, और कोई बात आप पूछना चाहेंगे मुझसे? कोई आपकी संशय है, कोई डाउट है?
जी सर,
प्रश्न आप बताइए।
थोड़ी देर पहले से मैडम ने कहा था सर, तो सेम मेरा साथ भी ऐसा प्रॉब्लम हुआ है मॉक्स में कि सर कुछ आंसर जो मुझे अच्छे आते हैं वो मैं थोड़े लंबे करता हूँ सर, उसका ज्यादा टाइम लेता हूँ सर उसमें। तो सर वो मुझे संक्षिप्त में कैसे बताना चाहिए उसको? और दूसरा सर सवाल पूछ दो।
एक मिनट, इसको पहले उत्तर दे लें क्योंकि इसमें दीपा को भी समस्या है, मेरा ख्याल तीसरे कैंडिडेट ने उनको भी समस्या होगी। इसके लिए कुणाल आपको अभ्यास करना पड़ेगा, बहुत अभ्यास करना पड़ेगा। और अब आपके पास टाइम क्या है? आपका कब है इंटरव्यू? आपका तो पोस्टपोन हो गया मेरा ख्याल।
हाँ, पोस्टपोन हो गया
है ना, और मालूम नहीं कब होगा, अभी डेट तो आई नहीं है ना? तो अब आपके पास समय मिल गया है, तो आप अभ्यास करेंगे बहुत जोरों का इसमें। और अभ्यास के 2-3 तरीके हैं, वो मैं बताऊंगा जब जनरल प्रेजेंटेशन करूंगा कि आप किस प्रकार के अभ्यास करें। आपको कुछ ऐसे अभ्यास करने होंगे जो आपके लिए विशेषकर लाभकारी होंगे, कुछ आपको सामान्य अभ्यास करने होंगे, तो वो आपको लाभ मिलेगा। मेरा अनुभव पिछले कुछ वर्षों का बताता है, क्योंकि आप जैसे कई कैंडिडेट से मैं इंटरेक्ट करता हूं, कि इसका लाभ मिलता है। तो जब आप लोगों से चर्चा समाप्त हो जाएगी तो मैं एक जनरल प्रेजेंटेशन करूंगा 10-15 मिनट, और उसमें आपको बताने का प्रयास करूंगा, ठीक है? और कोई प्रश्न इसके अलावा?
सर एक प्रश्न सर मेरा ये था, मैंने कुछ जगह मॉक दिए थे, तो सर कुछ बेसिक चीजें रहती है, तो कभी कभार सर मुझे वो चीज बिल्कुल पता नहीं रहती है सर। तो अगर वो बहुत बेसिक चीज है सर, अगर मुझे पता नहीं है तो सर फिर क्या इसको सर मुझे पता नहीं है ऐसा बोल के मेरा सर नंबर कम हो जाएंगे इसमें कि सर
वो आप देखिए, आप इसको इस तरीके से देखिए, अगर उन्होंने कोई ऐसी चीज पूछी जो बेसिक है या नहीं है, भूल जाइए, आपको नहीं पता है।
हाँ सर,
उसका सबसे अच्छा उत्तर क्या है? कि नहीं पता,
मुझे नहीं पता।
उससे बेहतर तो कोई उत्तर है नहीं। अगर आपने कुछ और बताने की कोशिश की तो आपका ज्यादा नुकसान हो सकता है।
ओके सर, तो
चिंता नहीं कीजिए उसकी। देखिए, अभी तक मेरे इस जीवन में, काफी लंबा जीवन व्यतीत हो गया, 63 साल में, कोई ऐसे व्यक्ति नहीं मिला जिसको सब जानकारी हो। हर कोई ऐसे कुछ जानकारी है नहीं। तो आप इस बात से बिल्कुल परेशान न होइए, और ये बात समझ के चलिए, आप लोगों ने एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण परीक्षा पास की है। It's a very difficult exam. Even I get nightmares now if I have to appear civil service. Probably I'll not qualify. It's very difficult now, much more competitive. तो आपने qualify कर लिया। बट क्वालिफाई करने का मतलब नहीं है कि आप पूर्णतः भिग हो गए, आपको हर चीज की जानकारी होगी। हर व्यक्ति को जानकारी नहीं है। और इतना समझ लीजिए कि आपकी जानकारी जो बोर्ड मेंबर्स हैं उन सबसे ज्यादा है। वो इतना, हम जब फाइलें करते थे अब आप प्रश्न पूछेंगे, प्रश्न पूछना तो आसान है ना। आप अगर उनसे प्रश्न पूछने बैठ जाइए तो जवाब थोड़ी ना दे पाएंगे। तो आप उसकी चिंता ना कीजिए कितना जानते नहीं जानते। अच्छा, वो आपकी जानकारी ले भी नहीं रहे, वो आपका देख रहे हैं कि आप किसी परिस्थिति में या किसी प्रश्न के उत्तर में आपकी अप्रोच क्या है। ये मैं जनरल प्रेजेंटेशन में बताऊंगा। तो आपको इससे कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाएगा। पहली चीज इससे कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा कि किसी बिंदु पर, चाहे वो जितनी बेसिक हो, जानकारी ना होने का कोई बहुत बड़ा आपको नुकसान नहीं होगा। और बड़ा नुकसान तब होगा आप उसकी जानकारी ना होते हुए कुछ बोल दें, वो ज्यादा नुकसानदेह होगा। तो आपको तो अपना नुकसान कम करना है ना। पहली बात तो नुकसान नहीं हो, अगर होगा भी तो आपका कम नुकसान होगा अगर आप सही बात बोले वहां पर कि मुझे नहीं पता। तो इससे आपको कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाएगा। मैं आपको बता रहा हूं कि दूसरे वर्ष में, जिसमें मुझे हाईएस्ट मार्क्स मिले थे, 25% प्रश्नों का मैं उत्तर दे ही नहीं पाया था। लेकिन मैं स्पष्ट कहता था, सर मुझे पता नहीं पता है तो नहीं पता है यार, और क्या कह देंगे। उससे परेशान होने से पता थोड़ी ना हो जाएगा। आप मान लीजिए आपको नहीं पता है, बेसिक चीज है, नहीं पता है आपको, सब लिए आप, उन्होंने आपसे पूछ लिया महीना कौन सा चल रहा है, आप नर्वस हैं, आप बता नहीं पा रहे हैं कौन सा महीना चल रहा है, जो बच्चे को भी पता होगा। ठीक है ना। नहीं पता है तो नहीं पता है, खत्म होगी बात। सबको पता है लेकिन आपको नहीं पता है, लेकिन आप परेशान होगे उससे। कुछ अगर उस परेशानी होके आपको जानकारी प्राप्त हो जाए तब तो आप परेशान होइए। जो नहीं पता है नहीं पता है तो उसके लिए परेशान होने से क्या फायदा। आप इस बात पे गर्व कीजिए कि एक महत्वपूर्ण परीक्षा में आपने क्वालिफाई कर लिया। और ये बात मान के चलिए कि बहुत सारी चीजें आपको नहीं पता होंगी, आपका जो पड़ोसी है कॉम्पिटिटर उसको भी नहीं पता होंगी, तो परेशान होने से क्या फायदा। बिल्कुल निश्चिंत होकर कीजिए, हो जाए हो जाए, नहीं हो जाए नहीं हो जाए। मेरे पहले वर्ष और दूसरे वर्ष में यही अंतर था। पहले वर्ष में मैं नर्वस था, बात ये थी कि शायद मुझे सेवा मिल गई थी तो मैं सेकंड ईयर बड़ा आसान हो गया था। लेकिन कॉन्फिडेंस, अब्रेसिव नहीं होना है, डॉगमेटिक नहीं होना है, लेकिन कॉन्फिडेंस आना चाहिए आपका। नहीं में भी कॉन्फिडेंस है, बिकॉज आप इस वजह से नहीं कह रहे हैं कि आपको नहीं पता है, आप ये बात का सत्य बोल रहे हैं कि आपको नहीं पता है, उसका कॉन्फिडेंस है आपको। ठीक है। Okay, so what I'll do now is share a presentation with you. Jatin, can you make me the host? So I'll briefly touch upon certain salient aspects of a personality test. Will help you prepare yourself, since almost everyone, because earlier it was being for the I think Hindi language, they were having the interviews before, but now they have also been postponed. So you'll have, each one of you will have at least a month's time to prepare. And that being the case, you can actually improve phenomenally in a month. So if you go about doing it, but in order to do that, you must first understand what is the board looking at. Because when you produce something or you have an idea, you have service, you look at the consumer. Here the consumer is the board member. What exactly are they looking at? If you don't know that very clearly, then your preparation will not be appropriate. Then once you know that, I will talk about how do you prepare for that test. How do you prepare to meet the requirements of the board members? And finally, what do you do on the last day of the board? What is the board looking at? And I have requested Jatin to share this PowerPoint presentation with you all. You can go through it. He will also share with me your telephone numbers. Later in the afternoon, I'll message you with a couple of articles. In case you need any clarification on this presentation or you have any question, what you do is you can message me. I keep a bit of a busy schedule, but I'll come back to you either through a message back or speak to you on phone to explain any clarification that you have. Kunal ji, is it okay? मैं अंग्रेजी में
बिल्कुल 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 सर,
कोई और स्पष्टीकरण चाहिए हो तो
नहीं सर, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं।
First is, this is not an interview. It's a personality test. Now, what is the difference between interview and personality test? Interview seeks information from you. Personality test looks at a lot many other things. So if it were an interview, then not knowing certain facts which you ought to know would have gone against you. But if in an interview, in a personality test, if you admit the fact of not knowing, can actually be held for you, not against you. It reflects a candid nature. It reflects acceptance of ignorance. So in a personality test, your inability to answer a question can actually be a positive attribute, whereas an interview it is not. So understand this difference. So you should not feel nervous about the fact that you don't know a few things. It's very natural. Okay. Now, what are they looking at? They're looking at your articulation, how you speak, what words you use, and in subsequent slides, I'll explain to you how you can actually improve your articulation. You can actually, you know, when I did my class 12, I had science side subjects, physics, chemistry, and maths. I switched over to humanities. I could barely write a sentence or speak a couple of sentences. And through the mechanism that I'm going to tell you now, I improved my articulation phenomenally. Of course, it was over a longer period of time, but you can do that within a month. Then whether what you say is logical, it's very important, because your logic and reason is going to stand you in good stead, and you can develop this as well. Present your whatever, first of all, of course, unless you are able to speak what you have in mind, you won't get anything. It's like in your written exam, you may have a lot of things in your mind, but you're unable to write. What would that do? Hence, the first point is very, very important, articulation, but equally important are logic and rational expression. Because if the person who's listening to you comes to the conclusion that you don't build your argument logically and coherently, then he will not be able to understand what you're saying. So you'll be speaking some garbage. You'll be speaking something, but it doesn't make any sense to the recipient. For that, you have to develop logical presentation. Now here, sometimes some of us, I couldn't gauge amongst you, but some of us are very fond of quoting others. Some big people, Rabindranath Tagore or Mahatma Gandhi. Now, I would suggest don't do that, because they are asking your opinion, not opinion of the great man. That you've done in the written exam, whoever you had to quote. You should not be quoting others here. Let them be quoting. You should be saying what you think is right. Your thought process may have evolved out of reading these great people. But you can't say, sir, because Mahatma Gandhi said this, and hence I think it is right. No. They're looking at what you think, not what Mahatma Gandhi thought or what Nelson Mandela thought. No. So it has to be your, and subsequently I'll tell you how do you develop that. To me, the most important part is the positive attitude. That is the feature that they're looking at, because they, in any negative situation, how do you approach that? You are given a problem, they might give you situations. And that is why I have recommended reading of those chapters in Ethical Dilemmas of Civil Servant, which gives you a number of situations. And you can actually use those case studies in your group discussions, which I'll talk about it later on. You must have a positive. So for example, if someone tells you that the situation, the COVID situation is very grim today, and it is on account of lack of planning on the part of the government. Okay, so how do you respond to this question? You can say that, yes, sir, it's very grave. So you are speaking the truth, but you won't get the marks. See, look at how you say is very, very important. So if I were to answer that question, I'll say, sir, the situation is certainly very grim, but it may not be wrong to say that there was no planning. This was very unprecedented on a scale that was not expected. There was planning. Perhaps there could have been better planning on improvement. So you're not denying the fact of a poor planning, but you're not saying everything's gone bad. And you're looking at positively that if we learn from those lessons and we try and improve upon it, we can do that. You can give a few suggestions also. So what is happening here is you are giving a positive tilt to whatever you are listening. A very positive tilt. So that is what they're looking in a person, whether that person is able to give a positive tilt to a negative situation. Okay. Then of course you have to be aware about recent happenings. That of course is a given. You should be reading, and I'll tell you how to go about doing it. You have to be aware about the places where you stay, and I've been asking you about such things. And of course, in hobbies, you don't have to be an expert. Hobbies by definition is something which you do during your free time in order to entertain yourself. That is what a hobby is all about. But if you claim to be an expert in your hobby, then you could be in trouble. My suggestion is don't claim to be an expert, because hobby is a hobby is a hobby. You don't have to be necessarily that way. Now this is important, and keep this in your mind, that you are not supposed to know all the solutions to all the problems that beset the country. So if they ask you this question, that if you were made the Chief Secretary of Jammu and Kashmir, how would you resolve the issues relating to Kashmir? Now, it's not an easy question to answer. And the answers, had they been easy, they would have been found. So they're not expecting you to solve the problems of Kashmir. What they're expecting is, how do you analyze the existing problems? And what are your suggestions when you do that? Even in the worst case scenario, they will look at your analysis. How do you approach, rather than giving solutions that solve the problem? May or may not solve the problem, but they are not looking for that. Now, let me come to what you can do one by one. Now, though, Deepa, your articulation is very good, but still I would suggest there's always scope for polishing the way you speak. And the drill is what I've written here. Pick up any newspaper. Kunal ji, आप किसी हिंदी newspaper को उठाएं, उसमें pick up the editorial page, open the editorial page, and read the editorial article aloud. There are normally 2 articles on the editorial page, not the editorial, but the editorial article. Read it aloud in front of a mirror and tape it. Do that without failure every day. You will see that your diction is improving by the day. It will improve. I have no doubt about it. There are 2 other advantages of reading such articles aloud. Number 1 is this diction will improve. Number 2 is you will know how to logically present your argument, because all these articles are logically developed. They'll first analyze the causes, then they will suggest a few solutions. You may disagree with them. That's a different matter. But you will know how to present an argument. And third, very importantly, is you will become more aware of that particular subject. So imagine from now on, if you read an article every day, you would have known about 30 new subjects. And as you read them, you will discover that certain aspects that are written there you don't understand. You'll go to the internet and try and understand more about it. So your awareness levels will improve, your diction will improve, your logic will improve. So if you do that regularly, I mean, forget about civil service for the time being. It will improve you as a person, because you'll be able to present your case wherever you are, whatever you do. That is exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is, I don't know whether you all have constituted yourself in a group. Deepa, are you part of any group? Kunal ji, आप हैं किसी ग्रुप के सदस्य?
हाँ सर.
हैं. और आप डॉक्टर के, I forgot your name. You're Pandian. Pandian, आप हैं किसी ग्रुप में हैं किसी? Are you? So my suggestion is as follows: constitute a small group of 5-6 persons who have qualified for the personality test. And I had requested Jatin earlier also, and I'll request him again, that help these people to get into a group. Jatin, is that fine with you? Okay. So what does this group do? So the groups have to be language based. So a person who's going to give the interview or personality test in Hindi should be in a group of Hindi speaking persons, not mix. Don't mix the two. Now, what you do is this group decides a topic every day and also assigns that topic to an individual member of the group. And that member will speak and prepare and speak on the following day on that particular subject for 10 minutes. And after he's spoken, the other members will speak for 2 minutes. Now, a logical question is that the board will not ask you to answer a question in 10 minutes. You'll never get that time. So why am I asking you to speak for 10 minutes? Just to develop that diction and fluency and development of an argument. It will help you improve. It supplements the reading of articles in the morning. But this will be a different subject altogether. And this will help you in the same manner as the first point, wherein I have said that you will become more aware of that particular subject. You will present your case logically, and more importantly, your diction will improve. So both these practices will help you in these 3 areas. And imagine if you do both for a month, you would have been aware about around 60 important critical topics, which is a good ambit for you to be appearing to be aware. Please do that, and do that regularly, form into a group. And then, of course, have mock interviews, whichever way you want. I am not very fascinated with mock interviews, frankly speaking, but nonetheless have them. Within that group, one person can ask the questions. Oh, one person can become the who's grilled by the others. So you can have, by rotation, you can have that. But I think first 2 are much more important. And something which is not written here, for the past year and a half, you've kept quiet, you've learned and written. Now speak as much as you can. As a conscious effort, speak as much as you can. Okay. Then study in details about the hobbies that you have, of the place of stay where you've studied. So as I was mentioning to Deepa, she studied in Delhi, so you should be conversant with what is happening in and around Delhi, all the events or mis-events or mismanaged or managed events that have happened in Delhi. You should be fully aware. Now, here again, I keep repeating this point. Even if you're in the course of the interview, you forget or you are not aware, don't worry about it. I'm preparing you not to tell it there, but to feel confident about what you know. That thing may not be asked of you. It doesn't really matter. They may ask you something about which you are not aware. There's no harm in admitting it. Mind you, even if 50% questions you say no, you stand a good chance of making it, I'm telling you. It's not a question of, and Kunal ji, जैसा आप कह रहे थे, अगर आपको नहीं पता है तो कोई आपने गुनाह नहीं किया है, तो बिल्कुल परेशान होने वाली बात नहीं। दूसरा, the second point, they will not ask you about your subject. Again, as I was telling Deepa, that since she is from commerce background, she should know the current events relating to commerce, economy, economics. So for example, the trouble that a finance minister has in terms of providing sufficient funds for various schemes at the time of COVID. Think over how would you respond to that question. If you are the finance minister, you are faced with this. Visualize as you are walking around, relaxing, visualize these questions, try and formulate answers, even the most absurd of questions. If you become conversant and if the answers come easy to you, and as I close down, I would suggest each one of you or whoever, ask me the most absurd of questions. Most absurd of questions. That country should stop allowing foreigners to come to India during COVID times. Let's have that. Take any absurd question. The question is, how do you answer that? How do you approach that? Once you become easy in terms of formulating your answers, which with a positive tilt, I think you've done the job. You know, people ask me what was the basic difference between first and the second year that I did. I said in the first year, the board was interviewing me. In the second year, it was a conversation. It was difficult to ascertain who was interviewing whom. We are having a regular conversation across the table. If you can bring it down to that level, you would have done it. Then, of course, as I said, in-depth understanding of current affairs, select a few TV channels. A lot of it you will get through the drill that I told you earlier. But here TV channels like CNBC TV, ET Now are sensible TV channels where you will get a greater idea of current events. On the day of the test, dress normally. Don't wear anything for the first time on that particular day. That's my suggestion, especially shoes. Second, as we were discussing earlier, you have to listen very attentively to what the board member is saying. You should listen and should appear to be listening. And that you should practice in your mock interviews also. Hold on. As also, in your group, or if you have friends, tell them that the moment you overshoot or do something, pull you down. Physically, if you're there, otherwise interrupt. Interrupt and say that you are going beyond this point. This will help you develop an understanding on how much you should speak, when you should speak. And finally, much of the problem arises because of the last point that I mentioned here. Do not attempt to win an argument. You're not there to win an argument. There could be difference of opinion, appreciate that fact. And be very humble and polite about what you say. Even if the board member is winning the arguments, so be it, so long as he's giving you good marks. Okay. And finally, on the day of the test, understand the difference between facts and opinions. Don't guess on a fact unless you are asked to. Sometimes opinions have to be based on facts. If you are unaware of the facts, admit the fact that you are unaware of the facts. They may still ask you about your opinion, then tell. But don't try and make up facts to buttress your opinion. So that is very important. The second point also you should note very carefully, that use words where you have an exit door available. At your level, you are not supposed to finally say what should be the answer. Hence, you should use phrases like, sir, in my opinion, on the basis of limited information that I have, probably, because you're not saying, never use the word should in your conversation. Avoid using the word should, because it conveys an impression that you have arrived at particular conclusion. At your level, you cannot be supposed to be arriving at conclusions. It's your opinions are based on perceptions that you have at that point in time. So someone will ask you, if you given foreign service as the first choice, and they'll ask you, why have you given foreign service as the first choice? Then your answer will not say, sir, because foreign service is better than IS. You are sunk if you say that. Or vice versa. Why have you given IS as the first choice and IFS? You will say that, sir, the IS is a better service. That's not how you should start your answer. You should recognize the fact that each service is good and important. But as per the available information with you, and on the basis of conversations that you had with your friends and other people, you feel, I'm using the word, you feel that this service affords better opportunity to other people. Then he can't contest and say, no, this is wrong. Sir, that is based on my little experience, or sorry, little interaction that I have had. I don't know, sir, I'll cross the bridge when I come to it. So you are admitting your limitations, and that to my mind is very important. All the best to you. So that's what it is. So what I would do now is I will, if you have any final observations or comments or points you want to seek clarification in, you can ask just now. But I will ask Jatin, as I said earlier, to convey your telephone numbers to me. I'll message you all. To begin with, I'll send you a couple of articles that can be of use to you. But you can continue to be in conversation with me, but you will have to pardon me, because I will respond to you as per my convenience, and I'll even talk to you as and when required, but it will depend on your messaging to me. I'll do that to you. I would suggest one more thing, that in your group discussions, if you can once in a while study an actual case study, put a case study in the center that this is the facts of the case. Let each individual respond to that. And some of the case studies you can pick up from Ethical Dilemmas of a Civil Servant, because they are the real life situations where your attitude and approach will be tested. At the end of almost every chapter, I have questioned some of my actions. You can actually question them and discuss them. So it will help you in a number of ways. One, it will help you improve your articulation, your diction. Secondly, it will help you analyze a real life situation. And if you run into any problems in that situation, you can message me. I'll try and come back to you. So this is what I had to say. We have another couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes. If you have any observation or anything to say, please tell me. I'll try and respond, or else all the best to you.
Sir, could you shed some light on the eye contact that we are supposed to maintain?
Can you be slightly louder, Deepa? I can't hear you.
Sir, could you tell me something about the eye contact that we are supposed to maintain?
You have to look at the board member when you're talking to him.
The member who has asked the question, or everyone in the board?
To the member. Your conversation should be to the person who's asked you the question.
Okay.
The eye contact has to be, it's a conversation. Yes. What is a conversation? When you talk to somebody, you talk to him.
Yes.
You're responding to him. Of course, you're responding to the board. But if you can naturally carry it, okay, look at otherwise, but it could be deemed as a sign of nervousness.
Yes,
as if you look at somebody else. You have an eye contact with the person who's asked the question. Okay. Suppose someone else butts in.
Yes.
Then you have to look towards that person and talk. So have an eye contact with the person with whom you're talking.
Okay, sir. Sure.
You know, when you have a larger audience, then you try and, I mean, I do TED Talks and otherwise. So I try and eye contact with a larger number of audience. There I'm looking around, but I'm having a conversation with somebody. I have to converse with him. I have to look at him. Okay.
सर, एक क्वेश्चन है.
बताइए.
सर, जैसे आपने कहा आपका ओपिनियन हमें जब प्रेजेंट करना होगा इंटरव्यूअर के उनके सामने पर्सनल टेस्ट के बाद, अगर हर सर हमारे साथ फैक्ट भी होंगे और हमारा ओपिनियन सर कभी-कभी गवर्नमेंट के नीतियों के थोड़ा विरुद्ध जाए, तो सर क्या ये चलेगा सर?
अच्छा, इसको ध्यान से सुनिए. Listen to this carefully. I am glad he raised this issue. To what extent can you be critical of government policies? Now, there is no harm in being critical of the policy, but you should not appear to be critical of the government. Try and understand the difference. So you will say, sir, perhaps this would have been done in a different manner. Let me give you a concrete example. Farms bill. Itna agitation ho raha hai, there's so much agitation going on. So they'll ask you, do you think government went wrong as far as farm bills is concerned? So first of all, never start with the criticism, never end with criticism. Criticism has to be in between. Start positively and positively. Now let me exemplify this in this situation. You will start by saying, sir, perhaps on the basis of what I've read so far about these farms bill, they appear to be good for the farmers. Now you're using the word appear so that someone cannot pounce on you. What do you mean? They will say, what do you mean by appear? Sir, the provisions like doing away with the middleman, the provisions like doing away with the mandi, in my limited understanding of the subject, they would be helpful to the farmer. Then they'll ask you what went wrong. Why is this criticism? Sir, perhaps the manner in which the bills was pushed. I'll send you my article on this. Pushed in the Rajya Sabha, it created an impression that there is something wrong with the bill. Probably the process could have been put through in a better manner, and probably stakeholders could have been taken into confidence before doing something which was good for them. So what you've done is you've criticized them, yet call the bill okay. So in the bottom line, you cannot reject a government decision. You can be critical of it. Am I clear? This is a very good question that you've asked. You all will be faced with this, whether you should criticize the government or not. No harm in criticizing the policy, but come out positively at the end. You ask me any question, I'll tell you how to come up with a positive tilt to a wrong that may have been done. Because you're not... Sorry? बताइए।
तो जैसे अभी कोविड-19 में सेकंड वेव आई है सर, उसमें सर अब जब देख रहे हैं कि ऑक्सीजन की कमी है, बेड्स की कमी नहीं है और हमारा जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है हेल्थ में, वो सर एक प्रकार के देखा जाए तो सर इतना अच्छा नहीं है सर। हमें 1 साल मिला था कोविड 1 से लेकर कोविड 2 तक। सर हम इसमें
इसको ये निर्भर करेगा शब्द का क्या प्रयोग करेंगे। आपकी जगह मैं होऊंगा तो मैं शब्द ये प्रयोग करूंगा कि साहब ऐसा लगता है कि सरकार ने प्रयास बहुत किया, लेकिन कदाचित और प्रयास की आवश्यकता थी और नियोजन की आवश्यकता थी, तो ये स्थिति नहीं आती।
ओके सर।
तो हमने तारीफ की, क्रिटिसाइज भी कर दिया। यू हैव टू कम आउट एज अ बैलेंस पर्सन। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में करेंगे क्या तैयारी और करते थे, तो आप करते थे कि भाई ऑक्सीजन का नियोजन कर सकते थे, और जैसा कि मीडिया में बताया जा रहा है कि काफी ऑक्सीजन एक्सपोर्ट हुई, शायद ना एक्सपोर्ट करते। आप ये नहीं कहते नहीं करना चाहिए था। देखिए एक तो ये भी हो सकती है आपने प्रिस्क्रिप्शन जहां देना शुरू किया, आप मुसीबत में आ जाएंगे।
ओके सर।
प्रिस्क्रिप्शन आप कहीं नहीं देंगे, आप सिर्फ अपना सुझाव देंगे कि कदाचित शायद, है ना, संभवतः अगर ये कार्य करती सरकार तो शायद उचित होता। आप दूसरा ये कह सकते हैं सरकार को ऐसा करना चाहिए था। तो अब आप सरकार से भी आप वाइज हो गए, बिकॉज़ आपको सब आंसर्स पता है, वहां समस्या आ जाएगी। ओके,
हाँ सर, समझ।
राइट, एनीथिंग एल्स?
Sir,
okay, so we have passed. Yes,
sir,
go ahead.
How long should an answer be absent? Like,
it's not, you can't measure it. It's like depends on the nature of the question. Length is not the material. If the question is precise and they've asked you how many states are in this country, how long would you answer this question? You'll answer give the number, no? The answer is over. And they ask you, if corruption were to be dealt with in this country, what would you do? Can you say that in one word? You can't. You have to give 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can't tell you, you start measuring the answer, and if it goes beyond 6 centimeters, stop it. It can't be said. It depends on the nature of the question, and never bother about the length of the answer. So long as you're speaking rationally, you're speaking logically, you're to the point, you're not beating about the bush, answer. And if they're fed up with you, they'll stop you in between. So this will come through practice, because if you keep taping your answer, if you speak in front of a mirror, there's no better way of improving yourself. Do that. Okay?
Okay.
Right then, all the best to you, and keep in touch. I will message you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sorry?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.